Howdy, howdy, and welcome to another wonderful trash take. So I had previously covered the Charlie Kirk memorial, but there was a lot of inside stuff that happened. There's a lot of outside stuff that happened. Some protests outside. Obviously, people protest in America for damn near anything. We have retards. It's freedom of speech. So yeah, you can be a vile sack of shit. If you want to go vote, protest a man's memorial, go for it. Go for it. I just saw a video on Channel 5 and I actually kind of wanted to watch it, and I'm curious to see. So Channel 5 is actually a very good YouTube channel. He's a on-the-ground journalist who goes to real-time events around the world and has a team that will also go to some other places to cover a wide variety of news. He does a very good job at giving both sides of the story and letting everyone talk. I think I've previously brought up Channel 5 in my another video of mine, but I honestly do like watching Channel 5 to see what's going on around the world. He does a very good job of giving both sides of these events. He lets people speak for themselves, and at this point he's pretty well known, so most people don't attack him like other journalists. This is the Charlie Kirk Memorial, though. I didn't cover it when I did the memorial, but there were some people protesting with some signs outside that were very interesting to say the least. So let's see if that happens here. All right, let's begin.
This is his quote. He said this about
it should be public, it should be quick, it should be
the
televised.
death penalty. He wanted public executions, and I think it's very ironic that he got publicly executed.
Charlie Kirk talking about criminals who are found guilty of the death penalty being publicly executed. This woman saying Charlie getting publicly executed is just desserts. Except Charlie wasn't found guilty of any crimes. He was killed by a leftist retard who should burn in hell, and I hope they make his execution public. Please.
Too many people are feeling bad for him. I think we should respect his beliefs. He didn't believe in empathy.
Oh, the fake empathy! This is the propaganda. It works on the 20 IQ retard. She's a 20 IQ retard. She's protesting. She saw the fake quote of Charlie Kirk saying, I don't believe in empathy because you can never really put yourself in people's shoes. I believe in sympathy because you can always feel for your fellow man. Not that he didn't believe in empathy. He believed it was a misnomer. That's it. That's all it is. And these are the useful fucking idiots who eat this propaganda up. By the way, that was already a debunked quote for like a week before the memorial happened. That had already been debunked. But this person's a useful fucking retard. My God, this starts off great. Thank you.
So I think we should respect his beliefs and not have any empathy for him.
I think you should probably take a long walk off a short pier. Jesus Christ, you could probably vote too. Holy fuck.
What was your emotional reaction like when you found out Charlie Kirk was assassinated?
I broke down crying. I was at work, unfortunately. I went into a room and I cried. I called my parents. I mean, he's had such an impact on our lives. I felt like from a religious standpoint, he just helped strengthen our faith. And from a political standpoint,
Holy fuck, it's Kyle Rittenhouse. I had no idea he'd make an appearance here. I'm not surprised, honestly. They basically just brought out like all the popular conservatives and Republicans that are currently liked for this event. They kind of made it a bit of a grand thing where it's like, oh, a bunch of people trying to shill for their political career, which was despicable, to say the least. That's why I only really covered the Trump speech, because there was a lot that was happening here. I didn't agree with some of it, but I didn't feel like it was necessary to add in there. It's an event. People are going to be retarded. It always happens.
I felt like I should never back down from what I believe in.
He had such a heart for the black community.
Yeah, I'll be honest. When I heard Kirk died, I immediately texted my friends. I texted my dad too. I was like, holy shit, he got executed. Because Kirk, I keep saying this, he was not a radical by any means. And he was one of the nicest people in politics. That's why I thought this was fucking crazy that he got assassinated. If they're willing to assassinate the nice guy, that means they're willing to kill anybody.
Such a heart for the black community.
25% of black youth were raised by a single mom. That's the #1 issue happening in the country, and it's not because of systemic racism.
Okay. So I think that he is saying that the issue with the black community is that they're raised by single parents and they do a shit job raising them. Not that that's the reason that they're at a disadvantage, opposed to a family with loving kids where kids have more resources. I don't know why that clip was played immediately after he said he was great for the black community. I mean, Charlie Kirk, I wouldn't consider that a bad thing, him acknowledging that there's an issue of single mothers that have less resources to raise a kid. Yeah, that's an issue.
He just wanted people to be better, to recognize the full potential, to stop with the victim mentality and walk in greatness as he knew that we can.
Charlie Kirk is the 13th disciple.
What do you mean by...
Yeah, they had some crazies. Yeah, they had some fucking crazies there. Charlie Kirk was not part of the Bible. He was not Jesus. People trying to make him a religious icon. No, he is not a religious icon. That's not how it works. Charlie did die practicing freedom of speech, but that does not make him Jesus.
By that.
Well, the disciples all died bringing people to Jesus. They were martyred bringing people to Jesus.
Yeah, but every time a person's a martyr, they're not a new disciple.
So now Satan's dancing and thrilled, and I'm telling people, if you voted for the Democrats this last election, you voted for the cartels.
Have you always
Yeah, see, this is why I like Andrew, because you saw the beginning of that first woman with a bad quote, and now you have a Republican who's doing a bad quote too. He shows there's dumb people on both sides, which there absolutely is. That's why you need to do everything in your power to think for yourself. You should never follow someone blindly. That's how you get led off a bad path. You can agree with some things people say, but you should be able to disagree as well. If you find yourself in 100% agreement with someone, you're probably getting indoctrinated. I'd say that's the biggest red flag. There's almost always something you should be able to disagree with because we are all unique. We are all independent. No two people are exactly the same. Your thoughts may be similar, but there should be some disagreements because you haven't lived the same life experiences of that individual.
always been so religious?
No, because when I was in Vietnam, I was killing people.
Holy shit. Straight from murdering people to Charlie Kirk's the third disciple.
And I couldn't understand
13.
what the hell was going on. Why would God allow this?
If people are crying about Charlie, why aren't they crying about the school shootings?
I think they are. Yeah, that's a big issue among Republicans. Charlie was a big advocate of putting police outside schools so the school shootings would actually stop. He wanted better control, better safety mechanisms in place so you wouldn't have to ban guns.
As an educator, I have been trained to die for children. We're supposed to jump in front of the gun, counting or not.
You have 3 options. Run, hide, fight. They train everyone that at basically corporate America and education. If you can hide behind the door or hide next to the door and they come in barrel first, you can grab the fucking gun and neutralize the suspect. Yeah, that's the common... This must be a woman thing where they don't understand that you need to step the fuck up to stop something bad from getting worse. I guess this just must be like a man versus woman. Because no fucking shit. You should put your life in front of the kids if you're an educator. I would in a heartbeat. No questions asked. What the fuck are we on about?
Not counting gang violence.
What?
What would you say resonated the most with you about his messaging?
Well, the message of hope, even though things may seem bleak, we have Christ. But also he kind of like the way
He put his religion first. Yeah, that he did. That he did.
he lived his life, like how he got married early and how he talked about having kids, really resonated with me because I think a lot of that is a solution to a lot of the problems and the challenges that we're facing here in America.
He was Jesus on earth. He was like living AI where you could go and ask it a question and
He's able to think. And you know, I'm not that too good of a thinker myself. Charlie Kirk was not a savant, but he was like a autodidact. He's able to rationalize and is able to not memorize, but maybe come to the conclusions based on his own life experiences and based on the education of people around him. If he saw information, he'd want to know more about it, to seen the source of it, about the individuals who wrote it, to understand more of where it came from and how it got here. He wants to know how everything works. He is a thinker. He's like fucking Da Vinci. He was unraveling political science instead of building machines that couldn't fly, though. That's the difference.
and it will respond to you, but with God.
Prodigal son.
That is true. He would try to make things about God because that's where a lot of his beliefs heavily resided in, his faith. So when people asked him questions, the first thing he'd probably think about is, how would this affect my faith, or what does my faith tell me? He was very religious. Hence, his most radical position was about abortion.
Absolutely.
None of it happened before. Remember
Absolutely.
that.
Thank you, Charlie. Good seeing you again.
What's all your dogs' names?
Red, blue,
Jesus fucking Christ, she's like a crazy cat lady, but so I guess liberals have the crazy cat ladies, Republicans have the crazy dog moms. They're all fucking chihuahuas too. What the fuck?
green, pink, butterfly, Brooklyn, bagel, binky, brownie, Bambi, peanut. We really like the way that Charlie Kirk thought about marriage. I'm single and in my...
Actually, I don't... Maybe because it's at the protest line, but that's a lot of fucking trash. I hope that shit got picked up. That shit always makes me mad when there's a protest and people leave trash on the ground. That irks me. We live in a first world country. Better not look like a third world shithole ever.
40s and maybe...
Christians caused... What?
There's like been a little bit of a spark. Maybe I'll find my perfect man. You know, you're not going to find really anything at the bar or...
I mean, church, yeah, if you want a religious woman, if that's what you're looking for, you can try to do church or church sessions. Dating is hard nowadays because social media and everyone has dating apps, so it makes it harder to actually form a connection to be interested in another person. And also, there's a prevalence of porn, to be quite honest. That also ruins a lot of people. They get some crazy expectations about, oh, we're going to have sex immediately. And that probably is a cause to why a lot of guys can't get dates, because they're like they're gooners, basically. They go full gooner mode. They don't talk to a woman like a woman.
Stuff like that. So, yeah. Although I have 10 dogs, so I don't really need a man, but it would be nice maybe if I had one.
What about Charlie Kirk's message resonated with you most?
The fact that he swung the vote as a single human being, and
oh shit, he got the gold Trump 70 or 47s. God damn.
then all of a sudden he passes and his voice just gets louder. People don't die for a lot.
His voice got louder because his stances weren't radical, and the amount of leftists that openly started cheering about this made a lot of people realize there's a problem with American politics. So people also started looking into Charlie Kirk too to see if they could learn more about the guy that might have caused this. And leftists also started looking at him too to find more bad things that they could out of context quote.
They die for the truth.
Have you heard some of the more outlandish theories about that? About why he was assassinated?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're on social media, yeah, there's people saying the old man in the crowd did it. There's a guy that signaled the FBI did it. Cash Patel's lying. The dude that got crabs a patsy. Like, there's always schizophrenic people out there that are never going to trust the government no matter what. And I'm not saying you should, but I'm saying sometimes you can use logic to deduce whether or not something makes sense.
Yeah, I have, and I don't care.
Totally. Where do you think the Republican Party goes from here?
Goes from here?
Yeah.
Oh, it increases. The Democrats know they're losing, and all they have is to murder.
Well, he was right about that. We've had shit since Kirk passed. What, the bomb went off? We had the ABC station shot up. We had the dude shoot the ICE facility. Well, yeah, the murder's not stopping. Democrats seem to be reveling in it too.
Violence.
And I think what makes this kind of worse is now Nick Fuentes is like up next.
Nick Fuentes is far right in comparison to Charlie Kirk. Far, far right. He is a different person entirely. He wants white America only. If you're not white, you're not allowed. I'm nationalistic. I believe in America being the best country on planet. I have pride in my country. I don't think only white people should fucking live here. That is ridiculous. I believe that anyone can love their country despite their skin color. I believe anyone can have good ideas despite their skin color. The fact that Nick Fuentes is being thrown in the ring shows people don't know what he actually stands for. Or he's trying to do the Andrew Tate thing where he dilutes all of his radical extremist ideas among the 90% that you agree with, and he just won't ever mention the 10% because he knows it's batshit crazy. That's more than likely what he's doing. I do not watch a lot of Nick. The real first time I'd seen a bunch of his videos was when Tucker Carlson called him a little gay boy in Chicago, and that shit was fucking hilarious.
Elon Musk, you weren't born here. Milo, you're a Jew, and you weren't born here.
Okay, he's fucking hilarious. Yeah, Elon wasn't. He's South African. Milo Yiannopoulos, I assume is who he's talking about. He's a gay, very prominent gay conservative who was helping Trump get elected in 2016. And then he wrote a book. And in the book, he talked about how when he was a child, he wished he was molested. And then at that point, he got thrown out by like every Republican because, bro, what the fuck? Not that he did get molested, that he wanted to be molested.
Candace Owens, your husband wasn't born here. Go the fuck.
Candace Owens, your husband wasn't born here, so she can't. What?
Home.
That's what happens when
you could be. I used to make fun of Democrats for this because they acted like there's no such thing as a legal immigrant, that all immigrants are going to be deported. No, there's legal immigration and there's illegal immigration. It just sounded like Nick Fuentes fell for the Democrats' lie back in 2016 where he doesn't know the difference between the immigration statuses. Like, what the fuck, man?
When I think you take out somebody like Charlie Kirk, now you get like Nick Fuentes is now the next guy up.
He's not. No, there's There will never be another Charlie Kirk, but it's not like there's going to be someone to replace Charlie Kirk either. There will be people who try. There's already people who go to college campuses to engage, but the issue is you're not going to get another Charlie Kirk. You aren't. He was a unique individual. You might get some people that are close, but Charlie always came from his faith first, and I don't see a lot of content creators that even have faith or are even intelligent. Most of them are just loud and obnoxious and got lucky, and that's why they're popular. Not because what they're saying is intelligent, but because they've just been popular. They gained popularity arbitrarily online. Like, they gamed the algorithm and won. Charlie Kirk, even when he wasn't popular, did the same thing for years on end and spent that time refining his skills to become more intelligent. A lot of people don't do that. They don't give a fuck about their intelligence. They go with what they think is right, and they don't ever try to challenge themselves. Kirk challenged himself.
The realest nigga on the internet that's in the middle of my generational run.
You took out some dude who was laid back, you know, politically correct in like a Republican sense. Now you got this Mexican white kid who's like, we need only white people, you know? So,
Yeah. Where do you think the future of the Republican Party is going to stand?
It's going to go along the Charlie Kirk route, I think. Because I don't think, if you think about Nick Fuentes, you don't really see, I don't think he would be pulling a crowd like this. It's not to say anything against Nick Fuentes and like bashing him in any way, but like Erica Kirk has been named the new CEO.
No, Nick Fuentes probably won't be able to pull a crowd because unlike Charlie Kirk, he's actually said some crazy fucking shit. And there's not going to be out of context quotes. It's going to be fully in context where you watch the video and you're like, holy shit, this kid's fucking crazy. Because he is.
Of TPUSA. So we have that, and I think she will do a really great job. Another person that's more maybe closer to Charlie Kirk in my mind, maybe might be like a John Doyle.
And I would like to see
No idea who Doyle is, but I saw Tim Cass, so probably Tim Pool.
Trump, Don Jr. and Eric and JD.
I have no idea on the two of them. I don't even know if any of Trump's family, besides Trump himself, is involved in politics. I feel like they're constantly on Twitter shit posting, so I feel like they spend most of their time doing that opposed to actually running for any political office. I think Trump's daughter, Ivanka, was that her name? I think Trump's daughter did some shit in the office back in 2016 and helped Trump, but I don't think he actually, she never had an official capacity.
Vance and Barron one day be president.
I mean, Barron could have a good run for it if he cares. He likes to play war games from what I understand, so he's got the autism. Unfortunately, it does look like Melania took Tylenol while she was pregnant with him. He's got the tism. He loves to play war games like crazy, so I'm willing to bet he's going to want a leadership role, because if you're a war game enthusiast like myself, let's just say I'm very envious of Elon Musk when he finally gets to colonize Mars.
And maybe even my own nephew one day be president.
I can see it.
Thank you.
I am actually really energized seeing all these people here to worship God and to worship Charlie. I think it's beautiful.
Did she just say worship Charlie? He's not an icon. To remember Charlie, I'm going to give her benefit of the doubt and say she misspoke, but Jesus Christ, man, the Republicans aren't dodging the cult accusation much longer either. Fuck.
So holding back tears right now.
Did you guys know Charlie? I know that the floor seats are like friends and family kind of deal.
We did not know him, but we saw him all the time. I mean, we're like what, stalkers?
Why do you think Charlie Kirk was assassinated?
Oh, I would really base it off of basically what the Tyler Robinson said, where he said that he thought that he was spreading hate in that sense, which, in my opinion, yes, to some people who might not have maybe the best worldview, or maybe who are just in a bad
my assumption here, and it is an assumption, is that he went down a Reddit rabbit hole and saw a bunch of out of context clips like all the leftists were spamming after Kirk's death. My best guess is he was seeing shit like that all the time about Kirk and got tired of it. That is my best guess. Out of context clips that make him seem like a despicable human being, because that's what they did. It was completely out of context though. That is my best guess at what Tyler Robinson did, and I really hope the FBI is more transparent on everything he was looking at, what subreddits he visited, because we already know he was in the Helldivers Discord and the Helldivers subreddit, but what other ones was he in? That's what I want to know.
bad place might think that, because maybe Charlie Kirk might seem like he's actually, berating you for the way that you are, living your life or things like that.
I was born as a man, and now I'm a woman.
Okay, no, but you don't become a woman just because you dress like a woman.
My mom's from Mexico, my dad's from...
True, you don't just magically become a woman. Even if you get a sex change, your DNA still has you encoded as a woman. XX chromosomes versus XY, right? That's why people get in this argument of you're arbitrarily a woman. If you live in separate place from reality and you just want to, I'm a woman now, good luck. But I'm not going to accept that. You can say that all day long. That's totally fine. But to demand me to say it is inflection upon my domain, and I do not appreciate that.
Syria. So when she came here, did she know she was breaking the law?
She was like, I think 17. So yeah.
Did she know?
She probably know.
Okay. Therefore, you should go back to your country of origin. If you knew that you were invading somebody's home, I don't have sympathy for you.
I feel like it was.
No sympathy for his 17-year-old mom who came across the border illegally? As I think what that clip was? I mean, like, he isn't sympathetic because they're coming here because America's the best country on earth and they want to get here because they know it's the best country on earth. But I mean, I can see where he's coming from. They shouldn't be allowed to come here just because they want to, which, yeah, you shouldn't be able to. Borders exist for a reason. It's just not arbitrary lines. It's to make sure a country is stable so you don't have invasions, so you don't have unfiltered drugs, so you don't have unfiltered human trafficking. But I'll be honest, if I wasn't born in America, I would have came under Joe Biden damn fucking straight. I would have done everything in my power to get in this fucking country. I'd be hiding in one of those fucking sanctuary cities, nose down, working some illegal job for cash. Fuck yeah, I'd be. This is the best goddamn country on earth. If you can't recognize that, that's a you issue. Clearly his mom recognizes it's the best country on earth. That's why everyone wants to be here.
It was for religious reasons. I think there are people that don't feel comfortable in his faith and him going out speaking. And there's a religious revival going on. He was touching people. He was getting out there.
I mean, I think we became tolerant about things that were not correct. I feel like we have a generation.
The Overton window shifted so hard, heavy left that if you spoke out against people that wanted to go in the women's restroom, you would be fired in some states by Democrats. Yeah. If you said a man can't be a woman or men can't go in the women's restroom, you were getting fired. They were Democrats who were openly abusing their political power, targeting those who disagreed with them. Or writing into laws. They were making laws that were stupid is what I'm trying to say.
Generation that doesn't understand what this nation was built on. They don't understand their rights. I think unfortunately.
Yeah, you don't understand trans rights, hashtag trans rights. What rights does a trans person not have that a normal person has? Here's a hint. They have every single right. It's a lie. It's a misnomer. They want special privileges. They wouldn't be able to go in any bathroom. That's not a right. That's a privilege. You can already go in any bathroom. It's not segregated by race. It's segregated by sex. Yes, that's how it should be. Because you have a populace of some men that are fucking predators. They should not be allowed near women ever. You're encouraging them to invade women's space, which would encourage them to be able to openly commit more crimes without question by allowing them to invade the space. This is some pretty common sense logic here. Democrats want to completely ignore that. Why? Because one trans person magically decided, I want to be in the woman's bathroom, and you better feel complete empathy for them, not the one that decides to, not a woman that gets raped by a dude in the men's bathroom. You should no empathy for them whatsoever. That's the selective empathy bullshit.
Fortunately, when you pull God out of regular day life, you start to let evil in.
They were wrong, but they didn't want to accept it, so they killed him for it.
Yo.
They were wrong, so they wouldn't accept it, so they killed him for it. They could not debate him in the free marketplace of ideas. They were bitches, they were cowards, they were manipulated, and they were easily brainwashed. Yes, that's why they killed him. That is why he died. That is why he was assassinated.
Yo, what is up, brothers and sisters? This is Andrew Callahan, Channel 5 News.
Hi, Andrew.
You guys may have noticed that I'm actually not in this video. It's because during the Charlie Kirk Memorial, I was actually down in Mexico shooting for Canal 5, an all Spanish language original content channel. I shot 4 different videos in 1 week down there. And
Bro, Mexican wrestling, it seems like a fucking blast, I'm not gonna lie.
I just got back today, the day
Holy shit!
After the Charlie Kirk funeral. So I'm over here right now at Apache Junction Hotel, my favorite motel in the West. But the
Damn, bro, that looks like a straight Breaking Bad Fent house type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
point is, whether or not I'm in the Sonoran Desert or Mexico or anywhere in the US, one thing stays the same, which is that I like to get informed. Using what, you might ask? Ground News. Ground News is a dope-ass news aggregate that shows you exactly.
It's an aggregate, so it collects data from all sites and compiles them into one. Something I never quite understood in America, the right-wing news, the biggest one is Fox, and there's like 20 left-wing news organizations, but I think together they all pull basically equal. Like it's kind of 50-50. There's just Fox on the right and then like 20 on the left. And you have a bunch of different independent journalists too and journalist organizations that are also right-wing, but they don't have a prominent news channel per se. A source like this probably pulls more of the journalist side opposed to the actual news side or the independent organization. Probably like New York Times, Washington Post, shit like that. Which isn't a bad thing. But you can also just sort of ask ChatGPT or Grok now because they're intelligent enough to just basically parse the internet and give you information. But the issue with the AI is it will fall for false information. It'll just look to see a commonality. How many people are saying this versus how many are saying this. And then it'll try to add some bit of objective truth to it. But it does not understand people willingly lie. People willingly misinform. It simply does not have the mental capacity for that. It does not have the ability to parse lies. At least not well enough yet.
Exactly how all sides of the media, both left, right, and...
The reason I bring that up is because George Floyd asked it about George Floyd one time, and it was telling me that there was no reason to believe that George Floyd died of cardiac arrest or had drugs in his system. And I had to basically be like, there was a coroner's report that said he had these drugs. And then the AI is like, well, they ruled it at the trial that he died from the police. And I was like, well, you need to understand the coroner's report is unbiased because it's them immediately doing it after death versus the family and the news that made this a deal about him being choked to death, wanting him to be a victim of suffocation, which you can't scream if you're being suffocated. I keep saying this. If you're actually, your throat, your windpipe is compressed and you can't breathe, you can't scream either. George Floyd more than likely died of a drug overdose, and the first coroner's report said that, basically heart attack, cardiac arrest, from the amount of massive drugs in his system, because the police officers failed to identify he was having a drug overdose because he was kicking and screaming and fighting with police, and they decided to do the whole, we're not going to do anything till you calm down, and it ended up with him dying. I disagree with how the police officers treated that situation still. Do I think they deserve to go to jail? Probably not. Was the cop a sack of shit? Yeah, he had a history of racism. So, I'm laying the whole story out here. I still believe George Floyd died of a drug overdose. The original coroner's report shows that he had multiple amounts of lethal substances, lethal doses of illegal substances in his system. And even Grok was having trouble understanding that the human bias was basically forcing a guilty verdict there.
Center are covering the same stories as they unfold. And we know, especially in today's algorithmic echo chamber, disinformation, chaos, apocalypse era, staying informed across all sides of the political spectrum is incredibly important.
Knowing the absolute facts of the case is the most important part, and people leave out key critical details to sway your opinion. That is entirely right. That's why I do my best when I make a video. If I make any mistakes or misspeak and I think it's egregious enough, I'll put comments in there because I am trying to be accurate when I speak and I misspeak a lot. It's a bad habit of mine. My brain moves a little too fast for my mouth to handle. And sometimes I'll jump ahead with what I'm saying or I won't catch myself when I say something that's egregiously stupid.
If not the most important thing you could possibly do in your entire life at this present American moment. Nah, but for real, I actually mean it, and I'm gonna say it once again. In times like these, staying as far away as possible from the fear-mongering 24-hour news cycle and all of its salacious elements is so important, and I wanna make
it's entirely true, because the people that don't stay away from it are the one that becomes radicalized by propaganda that then try to assassinate people. That is exactly right.
Sure that you guys are protected against misinformation. For example, let's take the Charlie Kirk Memorial right now. As you can see using the Ground News bias distribution tool, the left and right are covering the memorial incredibly differently. The right-wing National Catholic Register reads, the heart of Charlie Kirk's crusade was
National Catholic Register? Yeah, bro, that's completely right-wing. I completely believe that immediately. What the fuck? Oh, that's fucking crazy.
It's more spiritual than political. While the left-wing World Socialist website reads, Trump, Vance turned Kirk funeral into Christian fascist rally.
They just let anyone on the internet. Holy shit.
Holy shit. Ground News. Something that
even he's like, yo, that's crazy.
Also doesn't get enough attention is how many news stories aren't actually newsworthy at all. That's why Ground News actually shows you.
Yeah, the news purposely will leave key factors out, like the Ivanka lady being stabbed on the subway by the 14 times convicted criminal. It's the reason why all the left-wing news left it out. They didn't want to report on it because of how egregious it was and how bad it showed that their dog shit soft on crime policies are, versus the right-wing news. It's like, holy shit, people are dying and Democrats are the cause. That's exactly right. There was some Democrat in North Carolina that actually said that him being released and him having 14 convictions and him being on no bail or letting out with no bond, that he didn't have to pay to get out, basically, did not contribute to her being killed or some shit like that. Just a completely factually incorrect. If this man was in jail, she would still be alive. That's 100% the fucking truth here. But you have people that will just blatantly lie like that and hope they never get called out on it because they're a Democrat and the news protects them. And then you only have Fox News calling them out, and no one fucking watches Fox unless you're a 50-year-old boomer. Like, what are we on about?
How many verified sources are covering a story as it unfolds, so you can see if a news item is real deal or just phony baloney echo chamber bullshit nonsense. Ground News. Another feature I love to use.
I do like Andrew.
Use their blind spot tool, which shows you stories that might not be appearing in your typical media bubble. And if you think that
Google reinstates YouTube's account for political spear, yeah, the right's covering it, the left isn't at all. You know why? Because YouTube was banning, under the Biden administration's control and direction, banning conservatives. So the left aren't going to cover it at all. 0% cover, that's exactly right. Why would they cover the fact that the Biden administration was the authoritarian fascist that they're claiming Trump is? Why would they cover that after Jimmy Kimmel got removed by his private employer versus Joe Biden, that Joe Biden's administration, probably not Biden himself, he was asleep at the fucking wheel, Joe Biden's administration targeting conservatives and getting their voices taken down for false information, which was just, we don't like what it is, and it's not even against our TOS. We're banning you because the Biden administration is telling us to. Why would the left news cover that? It completely hurts their case. That's why they don't. That's why I get so fucking frustrated when I see this shit, because it's yeah, we're advocates of free speech, but we've been openly cheering when every conservative gets taken off the platform falsely, but we're advocates of free speech, guys. I'm gonna ignore the replies of people obviously pointing out my contradiction in logic, but I'm the advocate of free speech. I've actually locked down the comments so now no one will see it. Like, it's fucking 20 IQ retards.
You don't have a media bubble? Newsflash, jackass, we all do. Ground News. For all of these reasons, we trust Ground News to help Channel 5 cut straight through the noise. And right now,
it's true. Everyone has a bias. The best thing you can do is identify your bias and go from there to try to offset it. When you know you have a blind spot, that can help you detect the blind spot better. You're never going to be able to fully get rid of your bias, but the best thing you can do is be aware when your bias might be influencing your decisions to try to give yourself a second opinion or seek outside opinions. I'm not saying hive mind or completely go to someone else. Find someone you trust, a loved one, a family member. If you're having trouble making a decision because you think your bias is heavily weighing on them, pose the question to them. See how they react. It's going to be different than you. They're a different person, but it could help.
Now, you can subscribe for a whopping 40% off their annual unlimited access Vantage plan by using this QR code right here or clicking the link in the bio or the pinned comment of this video. Just scan the QR code here.
Me personally, I follow a lot of leftists. I say leftists. I follow a lot of Democrats on Twitter, and I follow a lot of Republicans, and that's where I mainly get my information from. I've also been blocked by a bunch of like Twitch streamers. Surprisingly, Hassan hasn't blocked me, but a lot of his orbiters have. Mainly because I call them retards all the time. That's basically it. They just say stupid shit, and you call someone retarded, you get blocked for it. When I use the word retarded, I use it pretty liberally here. I call myself retarded, I call others retarded, just because everyone at some point forgets to use their brain for the most part or says stupid stuff. I'm a little more humble with it, and I call myself retarded all the time. I don't actually mean mentally challenged. It's just an insult to one's intelligence. Stupid. They're all like synonyms for the same thing of insulting people's intelligence. I don't see a point in taking that out of my vocabulary. There's people that are offended. Yeah, people are offended by fucking everything. So what?
Or click the link below to sign up. 40% off, Vantage Plan, Ground News, Channel 5. Boom! Nah, but for real, supporting Ground News means helping to support us, which means that we can keep making dope-ass bipartisan videos like this and giving y'all coverage that isn't watered down or even worse, dictated by corporate interests. So stay.
It's just a dude standing in the parking lot like a fucking NPC. My head's blocking. Hold on. Just fucking, he's just back there, just looking.
Informed, and most importantly, don't let the media tell you what to think. All right, back to the mean streets of Glendale, Arizona.
What do you think is the biggest threat to American values today?
Wokeism.
You can't be transgender because God.
Honestly, this guy's doing a pretty good Andrew impersonation. I'll be honest, I thought that was Andrew at first. I realize now that's clearly not. I thought he looked a little different, but I wasn't sure. And yeah, it's because I'm retarded.
God chose a gender for you already. And the challenge is to work with it. Not throw it away or think you can judge them.
Yeah, the very extreme Christians believe God's already predetermined everything in your life, gender included. So you saying you want to change your gender is an affront to God.
What do you guys think is the biggest threat to American values right now?
Islam.
True. They are completely incongruent with American values. That is true.
Very good.
I'm not sure it's the biggest threat, but it's completely... It is a threat to American values.
Literally tells people that you can have 4 wives and beat those wives. And also the Prophet Muhammad had a 9-year-old wife, so...
One of the books for the Quran, it talks about it. It's one of those, I've looked into it before. It seems like that might not be a popular sect of the religion, but there are people in that religion who believe that. I mean, radical extremism. Not every Muslim person wants Shahira. Not every Muslim person's going to have 4 wives.
I don't think that's representative of American values or values of the West. And
Is it okay to have another religion besides Christ?
Not in America, because
I mean, we were founded on religion, like Catholicism. There was a guy who pointed this out on my previous video. Not all the founding fathers were Christian. They were all some form of like Catholicism and Christian. They all kind of practiced religion per se. I think maybe one of them was like kind of like pagan or some shit, but freedom of religion is part of American values. You should be able to be free to practice whatever religion you want. We call ourselves a Christian nation, but we're also a free religion. We are a free religion nation. Any religions should be able to live here, no questions or no real concerns. It's when the religions start overlapping and they try to dictate the law and influence other religions, that's when I draw a line.
because our Constitution's based on Judo.
Free will is a lie.
Christian values. If you're a Muslim, a Sharia law Muslim, you believe that you have to kill Jews and Christians.
Yeah, persecution of the non-believers essentially is what Shahira law is. It's like a tax on the Jizadel, the something, infidel maybe. It's been a while. All I know is Allahu Akbar. That's the only real thing I know.
If you're a communist, you believe that you have to control the world. Well, we don't control the world. We're not looking to control the world.
America definitely controls the world. That's wrong.
We conquered the world in World War II. The whole world was ours.
We don't control the world. We conquered the world.
And we gave it back. No, really. Yeah. Japan is Japan. Germany is Germany.
I mean, I don't think anyone ever thought after World War II we should now completely claim these countries. The whole point of us coming into World War II was to bring power and the balance of the world back and put the radical extremists at bay. Hitler's Germany, they were radically extreme. They believed in the white Aryan bloodlines, the only ones that should be allowed to live here. Like Japan, they believed their emperor was the sun god. Let's be real. That's some extremist shit on both ends here.
We didn't keep it for ourselves. We're for freedom in the world.
Losing Charlie's really sad, but I think it created a million more Charlies, and I look forward to seeing what the future has to bring to them.
Yes, that is true. A lot of people basically are like, well, I was kind of moderate, and now I see people openly cheering for this dude's death. That's pretty fucked up. I don't want to be associated with him. Yeah, that's a reasonable statement. You're also going to push people further right toward Nick Fuentes, where he's going to be like, you know what? If we banned all the immigrants from ever coming into the country, this could be a white national country in 30 generations if we also put everyone else in internment camps. Like, I don't know. The true effect of the true effect Charlie Kirk had on his society with his death is yet to be seen. Basically,
to the United States and around the world.
Have you heard the theory that Charlie Kirk was assassinated to distract from the Epstein files?
No,
I hadn't even heard of that, to be honest. I didn't even heard of that. I know Trump's dropped the ball on that shit hella hard, and it looks pretty fucking bad considering he spent a lot of time campaigning on it to say he was a pedophile. And then it comes out that Trump was actually, what was it? Speaker Mike Johnson released something saying Trump was actually an informant to help get Epstein arrested. And then they said they have no credible evidence of him sex trafficking anyone. I think Pam Bondi said that about Epstein. But then they arrested him for sex trafficking, so they had no credible evidence, but they arrested him, and he hung himself in prison for it. Like, there's so much contradictions with this that I just basically am assuming almost everyone's involved, which is pretty fucking bad, not gonna lie. But I'm playing it one day at a time.
Not true.
Okay. I have never spoken to President Trump about the Epstein files.
How old are you?
I'm 14.
14. So it seems like Charlie did a lot for young men specifically. When did you first find out about Charlie Kirk?
In the 2024 election, I started seeing his videos.
What resonated with you most about his message?
How he would debate and stay calm, and also how he would prove them wrong as well.
Where did you go to college?
I went to Arizona State.
Okay. Would you say that there was like a lot of liberal?
That is important when you're proving someone wrong, to keep a level head so you don't come off as a raging retard, to make your point as easily understandable as humanly possible so it can't be clipped out of context later. Because that is the best thing you could do, is make yourself as articulate as humanly possible when you're having a conversation with someone else you disagree with, so they can completely understand where you're coming from. And if they can't understand where you're coming from, it's going to be a clip. So everyone's going to see it, and everyone online is going to be able to understand where you're coming from, and then they're going to clown on the person who doesn't understand the obvious logical fallacies. Like, that's the best thing you can do. And that's what Charlie Kirk did very, very well.
liberal messaging in the university?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. So I graduated in 2020. I played college sports. We were all required. I mean, I wasn't on the team when they started mandating this, but it was vaccines. You had to wear the like LGBTQ pride shirts to honor that. And so
yeah, leftists got into power and they started making full demands for this ideology to where, yeah, I'm not really against gay people, but forcing me to wear a rainbow shirt in support of gay people is kind of weird. It's like virtue signaling for like what, 2% of the population? It's a virtue signal. That's it. That's like when Pedro Pascal told Gina Monaco to put hashtag trans rights in your Twitter bio to get Disney to leave you alone and get the protesters to leave you alone, to get the radical leftists to leave you alone. It's like it's weird. You don't have to support gay people, but that doesn't mean you hate them. Like, I know some people get this really confused. I don't hate gay people, but I'm not going to wear pride flags. I'm not going to wear pride shirts. That just seems like virtue signaling. I'm not gay. I don't care. Making other people wear it that are straight because your company or your event organization wants to virtue signal, that's political. It's weird. I think that's stupid.
I missed a lot of it in the sports, but by the time I had graduated, it was ushered in. And even my classes I felt were very liberal leaning.
I had a very liberal English teacher, and that shit was funny because I'd have to write reports and I would use like CNN as a source, and she would call me up to the class and be like, my reports were like really good because my sources were really strong, and it'd be like CNN articles that would like maybe have a little bit to do with what I'd say, but I would just kind of cite them because it seemed similar enough, and I wouldn't really look into them very hard, and neither did she. And she would still say they're really good sources, and I was like, I'm not too sure about that. I thought it was funny. She was extremely fucking liberal. She had blue hair, and I was just like, you know what? This is back in like 2018. I was like, you know what? She's probably not going to like if I start putting any conservative shit in here. So I'm going to write what I think my audience is, and my audience is my teacher, and she's going to determine my grade.
It was unfortunate what happened. It was terrible what happened. And
this is a big motherfucker.
What happened. But when you see
he makes the suit look small. That's impressive.
Charlie Kirk effect. This is all he ever wanted, is for a revival within the United
He wanted a religious revival and for people to come together. That is entirely true.
States of America and all over the world. This is all he ever dreamed and hoped for. This is all he ever preached. So to see it come true, unfortunately, when it comes to his death, it's a bittersweet moment.
Do you think freedom of speech is under attack?
I do.
I wonder if you think it's from Jimmy Kimmel or from Kirk getting shot in the neck, guys. Place your bet. The liberal woman who has already misquoted Kirk once and has a sign that's pretty fucking retarded. What do you guys think?
Jimmy Kimmel got fired for making a joke, which is just ridiculous.
Incorrect. He spread propaganda on the news there, which was media distortion. And she doesn't understand that. She doesn't understand that.
Ridiculous. Like, he was even asked to apologize. He refused.
Next star strongly objects to the recent comments made by Mr. Kimmel. A company realized this is a PR nightmare and decided to remove him. What's hard to understand about that? Someone said something extremely egregious and retarded, so a company removed him. That's not a free speech violation. That's a company doing the best interest of their shareholders. That's them not wanting to lose money. Social media and news, their whole purpose is to make money. They will do whatever they can to make money. They will appease whoever's in power every single time to make money. That is it. Full stop.
Which I'm proud of him for refusing. I think, you know, if they can say what they want, why can't we?
I mean, you're there saying what you want. It's pretty fucking retarded. You cannot spread egregious lies on the news. That's why Tucker Carlson lost Fox $500 million, because he spread egregious lies about voter fraud from the Dominion energy machines. Or not Dominion energy, Dominion voting machines. Was that a free speech violation? We should get her to weigh in on that. She probably has no idea what I'm talking about. She heard Tucker Carlson, she immediately called me racist for knowing him.
You know, I don't think there's any...
Why is there a Palestine flag?
Right or wrong for anybody. They believe what they believe, you know? And you can't...
There's not a right or wrong. No, there is. Yeah. If you completely lie and distort facts, it's against FCC violations because you are given a permit by the government to broadcast on their airwaves. So when you're in violation of the terms of your agreement, you either get their license revoked or you get fined. It's not that hard to understand.
Can't fault them for that.
How did you feel about Jimmy Kimmel being taken off air?
Ratings, he didn't have it.
Yeah, some people are saying his ratings were bad. I keep seeing something about his age bracket, 14 through 50, was like only 100K a night or some shit like that. I don't really know. I didn't look into it. People were saying it's not the full picture and that a lot more boomers watched him, so he actually had way more than that. I genuinely don't know. I didn't care. It seemed pretty obvious. He made an egregious comment, and it seemed like they were reacting because they were scared of cancel culture actively hitting Disney, actively hitting Nexstar, actively hitting the Jimmy Kimmel Show. It just seemed like an overreaction. I think if Kimmel violated FCC rules, I think the Trump administration should have been able to prove it in the court of law beyond a reasonable doubt and find their fucking ass for it. I think that's what should have happened.
Probably the only reason.
The reason if they did that, it would have proved beyond reasonable doubt that what they did was wrong. Not that they thought it was wrong, but that it was wrong and in violation. That way liberals can't argue against it that it's Trump using his power. They have a rule, they can show he completely violated, and they found him guilty of it. That's not Trump abusing his power. That's them following the fucking law, and that's what I want in America, is people to follow the fucking law.
It wasn't political, just he didn't have the ratings.
I actually don't like it, because ultimately, Charlie wouldn't have liked that. Charlie is the ultimate advocate for the freedom of speech.
When people stop talking, that's when violence happens.
That's entirely true. That is entirely true.
So if there's any type of government coercion in regards to that, that's something that Charlie would have been against.
Correct.
Even when it comes to disparaging comments, he would let the people come, at the college campus, Charlie would let the people come to the mic and say what it is that they want to say, and he would debate them in good faith. And if, freedom of speech does come with its risks, and that includes those who want to use disparaging remarks to put people down and then try to destroy others.
Yes. Freedom of speech allows you to be a belligerent retard. That is entirely true. It does not allow you to make death threats, but allows you to say, like, only white people should live in America like Nick Fuentes. That's still freedom of speech. He got banned on YouTube because probably violating the terms of service. That's not freedom of speech. But you should be able to say that in public without ever having the fear of being killed. As long as you aren't, like, trying to get people killed or actively trying to start a riot or get some people killed, you should be able to say that. You should. You should be known that you're batshit crazy and everyone should laugh at you. Totally. I completely agree with those two statements afterwards. But you should be able to say that. I want to know what the crazy people are saying on both sides so I can make sure I'm not one of them.
One another. But at the end of the day, he still stood for it because that's the American way. That's how we get any type of headway in our country, is through dialogue. And that's why I'm a bit upset at the conservative response when it comes to Jimmy.
I disagreed with Kimmel's joke. I didn't think it was that morally reprehensible. I thought it was morally reprehensible per se, but I was more upset the fact that he was lying about the shooter being a Republican. He heavily implied it when he was saying it. That's what I wanted him off the air for, not for his thing about Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump treating him like a goldfish. It's a dumb joke to make. You're free to make dumb jokes. People getting fired for laughing at him openly, cheering for him to die, yeah, that's fine. People making jokes about him dying, it's morally reprehensible. It can be a bit of a gray area. What Kirk said, or what Kimmel said, is paled in comparison to what some of the people on social media had been saying. What some of the people openly cheering are saying. It paled in comparison. That's why I wanted to go to court, to show he violated the first part, not the second part. If Trump took him to court and the FCC found him guilty, and it's because of the joke he made about Trump treating him like a goldfish, I would be laughing at Trump too, because that's a complete slap in the face and it is abuse of power. It was the first part that the FCC chairman weighed in on, saying it's a blatant lie, a distortion of the facts, and propaganda. That's what he was guilty of. That's what he got taken off the air for.
Let me come on.
All right, here's the thing. Again, I'm going to tell you the truth again.
Or at least that's what he would have or should have been found guilty of if it was true. That's what I wanted to happen. I'm ranting on this, but it's a nuance here I want people to understand.
The population of America is 4% of the world's population. We're 4% of the world's population. You had a 96% chance of being born someplace else, and God gave you the gift of being born free in the United States of America. What are you going to do with the gift?
We got to come together, man. Just
Yeah, that's what cracks me up. All the people that are like super social, like socialists and communists, leave. Go to a communist country. You have the power to. The American dollar will get you there for sure. Go experience it. You want to go live with your fellow socialists and communists? Go for it. You're never going to make it back. If you do make it back, you're never going to want to go back. Because it's such a shitty way to fucking live. Because it's a it is miles below the American dream. And that's because the American dream is based on capitalism, not communism.
one love, one idea, one country, man. We're all in the same battle, man. I think America's got a lot of work to do, man.
People need to start having mutual respect for each other, and we need to stop using dehumanizing languages like calling each other fascists, white supremacists, racists, when we're all Americans and we're all humans.
Use socialism. Damn right, brother. Yeah, the reason why they call you fascist and Nazi and other synonyms for bad guy, essentially, is because they view you as a bad guy. They don't actually ever say why that you're fascist, why you're a Nazi. They just say you're a Nazi. I get called fascist too in some of my videos. Why am I a fascist? No one's yet to tell me. They just call me a fascist. Apparently being a fascist is sitting here giving commentary on a YouTube video.
I think the political divide in the news media, they will say things that aren't fact, and they will get people hyped up and believing that Charlie's a racist, or the people that follow Trump
Yeah.
are horrible, bad, evil people.
Wasn't it Van Jones told the lie Charlie was trying to start a race war? That's pretty insightful. Gavin Newsom said that black and brown people should be afraid of ICE and called him the authoritarian arm of the state. That's pretty insightful. And the next day, an ICE facility got shot up by a dude who had anti-ICE written on his bullets, who leftists and some Democrats are saying is clearly a right-winger because he killed two illegal immigrants because he was blindly firing at a facility and into a van he couldn't see. Like, you have some absolute retards out there. And that's why I like Twitter, because you can see that they're the retards. I can be like, thank God these aren't my retards. Thank God I don't identify with these people in any way, shape, or form. And I know they're the radical, crazy retards. And they're constantly signaling for the Democrats. So that lets me know I'm not retarded like them. And not being a Democrat right now is a good thing. That's basically what I boil it down to. But that could easily change. Republicans could easily 180 flip this. Trump and Pam Bondi saying they want free speech laws on the books now. I'm about to be on the retard side, let me tell you.
When really it's the media spinning words and using their words to cause harm to people who believe different.
The trilogy of freedom is our family, our country, and our God. Do you think he'll forgive you if you throw your life back in his face when you commit suicide? That's a greater sin to me. By spitting in God's face. How's that?
What?
How's that going to work? How's that going to go? Carry the pain. Because carrying the war, you're killing people, and to carry that, it's not easy. It works on you, and especially when you're 20, especially.
Yeah, I mean, sounds like he got fucked up by Vietnam. A lot of people did. I've also seen videos of some people Vietnam people who didn't have PTSD. They had fucking nostalgia from that shit. War affects everyone differently, but it's nice to be in a generation that hasn't had to go to war. I'll be honest, it's been really fucking nice, boys. It's been really fucking nice.
That. So I'm giving you insight as to what post-traumatic stress is and how we're trying to deal with it on the VA. I do woodshop therapy to help me. It keeps me busy. You see? So I'm making something and look at that. And I can give it to my family and they go, oh, wow, thank you very much. You know, so that works
Nothing
for
wrong
me.
with woodworking.
So
Nice
I can
trade
say,
skill.
okay, I can get off my riverboat. And I'm going to give you insight on that. Please. Okay?
POW?
Some veterans wonder if God will forgive them because they don't understand the difference between killing and murder.
What's the difference?
You kill someone because your life is in danger. So
You kill someone because you're basically told to by the government versus you murdering someone because you want to.
you're protecting America because they're attacking the world and they want to destroy America. So you're...
Didn't we get into the Vietnam conflict because of a lie, though? Oh, man.
killing them, all right? But murder is, I don't like that guy. I'm going to plan on taking him out. You see the difference?
Yeah.
The intent behind it, yes, is different. Premeditated versus being forced to because you are in the army or military because that was your career option. I want to say was a fake attack on an aircraft carrier that actually pulled us into Vietnam. I don't remember exactly though, but I want to say that one was a egregious lie, basically.
Okay, so that's the difference.
He's on a horse.
All right, y'all. The event is over. Trump ended it. Honestly, it was a pretty big disappointment on Trump's end. We had some really good speeches in there. Obviously, Saddam couldn't get in. He has a face condition, so I had to go in.
I think we found an answer to autism. How about that?
How was it outside?
It's the Tylenol. My fellow Tylenol Americans. How's everyone doing today?
Cool. You know what I mean? There's a couple little like arguments.
Come right here, dude.
I'm not scared of nobody but Jesus.
Jump
man.
over. Jump over. Jump over.
A racist. Oh, sorry, not a racist. Racist supporting racists. I love when people are stupid, man. You're not going to convince an idiot holding a sign that they're wrong. That's the best part. This is someone who's probably hopelessly lost by a long shot. You're not going to... That's not the person you're ever going to be able to reach out to, unfortunately.
Talk your shit, see? Talk shit. I'm not Jump talking over. Shit. Talk.
Damn, bro, he's missing teeth. You're about to get fucked up by... I don't know. Looks like the crackhead outside 7-11.
Shit then.
I'm not talking
Jump
shit.
over.
I'm telling
Jump over.
You would rather jack
Jump
off a girl
over.
in the phone booth than
I'm
fucking
saying
me.
talk shit.
You spread nothing but...
Police right there. Come here so I can assault you. Police right fucking there.
Charlie didn't die for this.
Stupid you are.
You know, Yogi
Damn
Berra
right.
said it's hard to make predictions, especially about the future.
The Westboro Baptist Church came there, right?
The Westboro Baptist Church did come.
That's pretty cool.
Charlie Kirk was a fake Christian.
God still hates. I think that's an F slur. AAGS. Yeah, I could see it. Most people go to hell.
God still hates.
Like vacation?
That's pretty sick. I saw Kyle Rittenhouse inside.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I tried to ask him some questions. I wanted to ask him if, like, he had any sympathy for the shooter, given, like, his history.
That's true.
That's fucking retarded, bro. Jesus Christ. Kyle Rittenhouse in self-defense versus this dude assassinating someone on a fucking roof aren't even remotely the same. Oh my god, bro. What?
But, yeah, I mean, everyone thought
I'm assuming that's a joke on his part.
was Andrew, so I had a good time. Honestly,
everyone thought he was Andrew.
It was like a very loving environment, and then the speakers got to talking, and it was like war cries.
I hate my opponent, and I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erica.
Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do.
You have no idea the dragon you have awakened. You have no idea how determined we will be to save this civilization, to save the West.
I mean, I'll start believing it when Kash Patel starts arresting more Antifa fuckers and then also starts arresting the people that are standing in front of the ICE facility in Chicago and openly assaulting and obstructing the agents. I'll believe it when they start getting arrested. Until then, I'm not too sure. Though they did go after Comey. So Comey, I thought about making a video about this, but just to give you a rundown, James Comey just got indicted by a grand jury. Basically, I mean, they have enough evidence to basically prove that he lied under oath to the American people. So he testified that he didn't leak the documents and that no one at the FBI leaked the documents to the media after the Russian collusion hoax. And then in an interview later, he openly admits he gave the documents to a college professor, and he did leak it. Basically, but he's trying to say that he didn't actually leak it. He just gave it to someone else to leak. So he technically didn't lie under oath. So I'm going to see how this battles out in the court. I thought about making a video on it, but it's like really, really niche. And I'm not a lawyer, and I feel like my retardation there is a little too strong because I fucking hate Comey for letting Hillary Clinton walk free with all of her fucking confidential bullshit that happened way back in the day. I hate him for that. I think he should have gone to jail too when he put 8647 and took a picture of it and put it on fucking Instagram. I thought he should have gone to jail for that personally. But apparently it sounds like he's about to go to jail for lying to Congress, which holds, I think, a max of 10-year penalty. And he got to turn himself in versus Roger Stone, who was indicted by a grand jury. They showed up to his house at 6 a.m. and they had a news van outside recording it too. They made a complete perp walk of his ass like he was like fucking terrorist. They did it for all the January 6th protesters too, because that's how the Democrats work. They want to make an example out of you and they want to broadcast it on TV to show everyone else this is why you don't go against us. Versus the Republicans who are letting James Comey bring himself in. Like I said, James Comey's guilt is yet to be determined. I will hold my judgment until they find a guilty verdict because I myself want to see the evidence. If it's the video I've seen, technically, he didn't lie to Congress. He very closely, and I originally thought he did, but he didn't. He said that he himself, he was asked a question of if he told anyone at the FBI to release it, and he didn't. He told a journalist to release it. So by the dude paraphrasing the question by asking if someone at the FBI did it, he's technically not lying. So I'll be curious to see what happens there.
To save this republic.
America was his home, and he was willing to die for it.
Corporatism mixed with Christianity and like vague religious identitarianism, just kind of all wrapped up into this one thing where like the enemy is evil.
You have not.
I mean, these people are openly cheering and calling for more death. Yeah, that's pretty fucking evil, I'd say. And you also have Democrats that openly call everyone that disagrees with them a fascist, which is also them calling you evil too. Like, let's.
Nothing. You are nothing. You are wickedness. You are jealousy. You are envy. You are hatred. You are nothing.
And yeah, I don't know. It was a super strange feeling, but everybody was really nice, like, you know, to us.
Yeah, everyone's gonna be really nice. It's a Christian event. It's a Republican and Christian event. Even if you're there as an agitator, they don't really get too bad, especially if it's an event like this. At most, you'll be escorted out by security. You do that at a Democrat place, you'll probably get jumped. Though there were the two people that got jumped at the Kirk vigils, but let's be honest, the tensions were at an all-time high there, and you decide to go to a Kirk vigil and start destroying people's property. That's pretty fucking stupid. Not justifying the guy getting his ass beat, but I'm glad he did get his fucking ass arrested.
Us, which is cool.
Yeah, I noticed that people were like hella chill with me as well. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, it was fun. It's hot as fuck here. They keep saying Charlie
Fucking
Kirk's in
Arizona.
heaven. Lucky him, he's not in fucking Phoenix. You know what I mean? It's hot as hell out here.
I'll say that's hell on earth.
Live worldwide, Hollywood and Vine. Fuck the authority, Channel 5 News. Channel 55. We don't fuck with custers.
That's right. We don't fuck with custard. Keep it 55th Street. Damn right. Sorry, y'all. That was a long one, but I really do like Channel 5 News, and I had a lot I like to say, so obviously I like to hear myself talk. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm going to put the video in the description as well. Go check out Channel 5 News. I love Channel 5. They are probably one of my favorite YouTube channels because, like I said, they give the situation on both sides. They did a very good job during the election. They did a very good job during the election. There are radicals out there. There's stupid people on the left. There's stupid people on the right. We should be able to come together on some common sense grounds, and they'll go to major events around the world. Channel 5 News is one of the probably most prominent YouTube channels I recommend to all my friends too. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. The Charlie Kirk event, it was very evangelical, and there were some people that made it about campaigns, about them being reelected, and there's a lot of people that were showing face just to show that they're one of the guys who believed in Kirk, even if they completely disagreed with him and hated him. But to be honest, I don't think Kirk had hatred in his heart for anybody, ever. That's the kind of person he was. His religion came first, and true devotee, love your fellow man, love thy neighbor. That is truly what Kirk believed. He never hated anyone. He believed they were wrong. He believed they could be wrong, but he didn't ever believe in hating them for it. He always tried to bring them to the light, and the light to him was bring them to their faith. That bring them to his faith. So yeah, I think this is a good video. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. If you like the video, feel free to like and comment down below or subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Until then, later.